We're following an update tonight on the house party mass shooting that happened in Catawba County. Investigators are starting to release property left behind at the crime scene. We've been following this story since the shooting happened nearly 2 weeks ago in a community near Hickory. Deputies say multiple young adults opened fire, killing one man and injuring 11 others during a house party. It happened along Walnut Acres Drive, just south of Hickory. A total of 8 people have been charged in connection to the incident. 5 of them are charged in connection with the actual shooting. One girl is charged with being an accessory after the fact, and 2 people are charged in connection to the party. Now, this morning, a representative from the sheriff's office said investigators recovered multiple cell phones from the crime scene. Some of them appear to have been lost or thrown as people tried to flee during the shooting. Deputies say anyone who thinks they lost their phone at the home or crime scene should call the sheriff's office.